All right, there you go. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess. Here. Myers. Tate. Washington. Here.
All right. Move to public comment. All questions and comments directed to the mayor. Speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak to comment. The speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Good. If you have anything, please come to the mic. Would please state your name for the record?
Judy Castor. I have a few questions on the budget. Mainly for the police department. It was stated a while back that all the computers were in the squads and that they were up and running. I find that now not to be true, but that's not the biggest problem that I see. For as long as you've been sitting on as a part of administration, you've known, and all of us old timers have known, that there is mold in the police station, and now there's asbestos. We have 2 employees that passed away from cancer. A 3rd one is still fighting it. And yet, no steps are being taken to resolve this problem. I find it extremely hard to understand where a life doesn't matter anymore. And I think that with the budget and what's going on for the police department is not realistic. It's not the right thing to do. And I feel that a lot of thought has to go back into what's being done over there, or mainly what is not being done over there. As far as Parks and Recreation goes, they too have asbestos, and there's money being allotted, at least I think it's the money for that, and I'm not good with budget, so bear with me. There is other contractual services of $10,500 and other contractual services for $5,000. I'm assuming part of that is to correct the asbestos problem, but I don't understand why you can do Parks and Recs, but you can't do anything for the police department when we have people that already have health issues. That's it.
All righty. Now you made some comments about the police budget. We've sat down with the police chief and we've gone over this. So again, we're putting a big push this year on fighting crime. That's one of the major issues that we have in Sauk Village. When it comes to any type of parts, any type of building repairs, we'll look at those. You talk about the mold. I don't know anything about the asbestos. That hasn't been brought to my attention, but I know about the Parks and Recs. As soon as we found out about the Parks and Recs, that room was closed off. And again, your biggest trouble with asbestos is when you start removing stuff. Nothing has been removed, and the area has been covered, if I remember right. So the money is inside the Parks and Recs budget to take care of that whole entire room and remove the asbestos in that room. So that's where we're at. All right, anyone else? All right.
What I'm concerned about is the way you all are class change. I heard at the last meeting that you all have decided to bring out of the budget, the village budget, the cost of the fireworks, July, whatever, it's to be July 4th, whatever, today, $7,000. so much other things that need to be done that you can use that $7,000 towards. I would just like to know why. Why is that so important?
I'll address that. I'll tell you what, fireworks and the 4th of July, that's an American holiday. It's a holiday that we celebrate. And, you know, someone mentioned about $7,000. I think you take a look at it, we have over a $14 million budget. Take $5,000 out, you do the math. I mean, how many zeros is that before a 1%? It's like a 0.0001%. Number two, we've always paid for fireworks. However, we've also had people who set up here, trustees, that went out and raised money for that. This year we don't have it. There's no one up here raising money, standing on the corners for the fireworks. So, you know, the fireworks money has always come out of the budget. It's a American holiday. We celebrate our independence. So that's where we're at on there. And the $7,000 is a very, very small amount, percentage. Guys, Rose.
Rose Langston. I just want to make a comment that I had monthly calendars put on my box. Unfortunately, I was out of town for some family problems. And when I came back, I only had 2 copies. I just want to let people know that the calendars that were put there, even though there are multiple copies, they are to be used in the senior center. I don't know who took them, but it kind of bothered me. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, move on. We've got reports for the mayor. I've got a bunch of stuff. We'll probably get closer to the end. Move to vote. I do have their appointment of Police and Fire Commission. We do have a vacancy on the Police and Fire Commission, so I put that on there so I wouldn't forget. I'll be making a recommendation to the board probably within the next coming weeks. All right, Village Clerk, Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to thank everybody who participated in the job fair, who volunteered in the job fair, and who participated as a vendor. We had several vendors and a steady flow of traffic up until about 5 or 5:30 when it tapered off. And particularly Public Works, thank you very much for setting up both rooms for us. It was a great help. And for cleaning it up the next day to make ready for Parks and Recs. And also, the rain barrel is back in the back of the room today. It is the lighter rain barrel, not the black rain barrel. That is the style that you do get from the MWRD. I know we could use it on a day like today. Some people's orders went in a couple weeks ago and they have received them and they were able to capture their water during all of this rain. So that's good. I hope that you're all passing it on to your friends and neighbors to sign up for their free rain barrels. And then we also have the e-blast. I attended a meeting at the SSMMA today, and we were talking about how we can communicate and get word out to our residents about several different programs that are available. And the e-blast is a great tool that people would use it and pass it on to other people that it's available, because it's the quickest way to get information, official information from the village of Sauk Village in a little or no time. And the last thing I wanted to mention about the job fair was that is going to be a semi-annual event. We will be doing that in April now, and then we will still be doing our resource fair in November. So that'll be twice a year. We'll be doing a job and resource fair in April and a resource fair in November. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Move to Village Attorney, Attorney Mike McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Move to Village Engineer, Jim Zarni.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Thank you. Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, D.W. Fairman.
Mr. Mayor and the Board of Trustees, my report indicates that starting the village has, as of May 10th, shows 431 vacant houses, which is continuing to reduce itself. The vacant actually houses 386, vacant occupied is 37 houses, and demo list we have 8 houses. As we talked about before, we talked about the scavenger contract that we have met with representatives from Republic, and more specifically, I talked to Mr. DeLuca recently down in Springfield, but I have to report that it has been determined through a meeting with our scavenger vendor that the village has been remiss in number 1, updating the annual rate increase as agreed upon in the 2011 contract between the village and the vendor. Number 2, notifications to the vendor regarding the number of homes eligible for collection service has not been done. Currently, the village owes the vendor approximately $218,940. Note, the contractual agreement with the vendor was entered into in 2011 and runs through 2020. The debt service could be resolved with additional billing of $13.54 for 6 payment cycles. However, I am working with and meeting with Representative or Mr. DeLuca and other representatives from Republic to try to lower this, and he was telling me he's open to trying to resolve this in some manner favorably. I keep bringing it up, and I'll bring it up again, ordinance resolution amendments section. I got staff recommended for request not to exceed $15,000 to update the civic computer system to handle all the financial components of the village. We have completed the actual, I want to say, the recommendation that we sent to our attorneys for this ordinance to be passed or this recommendation to be approved, and I think it's critical to certain things I've been asked about appropriately in terms of how fast we process payroll as well as manage our other bills, given the number of staff. Also, 50% of collected debt derived from water, sewer, disposal, and utility taxes shall be set aside in reserve fund for the public works, purchase of public works vehicle or related capital costs is still under review by attorneys. That's very important. We'll get it out. Public works need that. Miscellaneous, the Orange Group is in the final stage of completion. The draft of the employees handbook will be submitted to the board pending we get the review completed by attorneys. Staff continue to review employee insurance coverage, we do, and continue to interview insurance group to ensure that Sauk Village is receiving the best coverage at a comprehensive cost. Staff we will make proposals to the board when the review is completed. Employee coverage for fiscal year 2016 and 2017 with the current vendor will be $776,873 if no changes are made to our current plan, which we may not be able to do. The village engineering firm has determined that, as stated, that the asbestos problem at the community center is not in the tile, but maybe in the mastic, if I'm correct. They are recommending sampling for a definite determination. Mr. Zarnik will field any questions you might have reference this issue. Staff, we have more than 4,000 water accounts to bill monthly. Owners identification is completed through new service accounts and contracts on delinquent accounts. Terminating and reissuing accounts will take 100 of staff hours they call billing disruption with the resident. And it is questionable whether we can go back and make the ordinance retroactive to people who already have it. So that's our approach to it. In other words, we can't go back and make a law like, say, I get charged with armed robbery, and then before I get sentenced, somebody says, okay, we want to charge you with murder. You can't go backwards and make that retroactive. Is that correct, Mr. McGrath? Can I make an ordinance retroactive previous to its enactment? Okay, well, that completes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Mr. Fairman, two things. Can you explain to me what is vacant occupied? If the house is vacant, but then you deem it vacant occupied.
The vacant occupied is the houses are supposed to be vacant and we have squatters living in them. There's about 34, 35 of them still remaining out of the 100. That's the list that we've been working on. We had a meeting today, and the next step is Kevin's going to start shutting off those waters in those houses to see if we can, get them moved out of there. That's what that means.
Okay, so I mean, if these have been going on for quite a while, besides cutting the water off, what other measures? I mean, is there legal measures that we need to pursue, or just cutting the water off not gonna make a move. Obviously, they're bold enough to stay there, and there's no.
Well, the police department has visited all the houses and got information from most of them. A lot of them moved out after the police visited them. Currently, that's all we have in place right now is to shut the water off, and then, you know, some of them, we don't even have owner information. They just moved into these vacant houses. So we're doing everything that we can on our part, and I know the chief has been in contact with ComEd to get the utilities on that end shut off too, so then they have to go.
Yeah, because every meeting, twice a month, Mr. Fairman reports on that, and it does go down, but it shouldn't even be part of that. That should be taken care of after you found out that it happened. But my second question, Mr. Fairman, we talked about the property owners when we passed the ordinance that the water bill will be put into the property owner's name. How is that going?
I just answered it by saying and asking Mr. Brown, we cannot make the ordinance retroactive. If they don't come back up front for a occupancy permit or water account, that's the way we can do it.
How is it retroactive if they're a property owner and the ordinance that we put out states that all property owners or all property be put into the property owner's name? That's not retroactive, that's now. I mean, we're not going back and saying that you did this 10 years ago, so you're exempt. I mean, if you're a property owner, it doesn't say anything in that ordinance. We went over this last week. It doesn't say anything in the ordinance about retroactive. It doesn't say anything about new accounts. It says if you are a property owner, the water account goes in your name. And you talked about this, we talked about that, I talked to Sherry about this. This is what you guys wanted. And this is why we passed that ordinance, because you wanted to have, where instead of you guys having to do all the work and finding out who is what and who owes what, this is what you asked for. You asked the Public Works to come up with something like that, and we did, but then I found out that it's only for new accounts. That's not fair, because if you are a property owner, it should be in your name.
I got it. I got it. Right, the ordinance, once it's passed, it will be going forward. As people come in and get water turned in their name, it's put into the owner's names. Occupancy permits or reoccupancy permits were required to be in the owner's names. That's the way it's written in the ordinance. And he's just been talking about, and the attorney just verified that you cannot go back and retroactive, go through every one of your water accounts and put it in the owner's name. So as the houses, again, as the water accounts are changed or as people move in, they will be put in the owner's names. So that's the way it's working.
Mayor, I don't understand retroactive. I mean, if the house is owned by a corporation, bank, whoever made an investor, that water should be in their name. That's what you guys asked for. You asked to have that happen that way. That's what I was told. And the ordinance does not say anything about retro. It doesn't say anything about new accounts established. It just says if you have an established account, the property owner's name will be included in the water.
Right? Any other questions?
Those were the two. I'm waiting on an answer. So you're saying that it's, and I don't know if the board understands or voted on that, because I thought the board voted on that ordinance, and that ordinance is self-explanatory.
Right. I think the ordinance makes it very clear right in the title. It talks about the reconnection of service. That's the ordinance.
Reconnection, no, we're not talking about reconnection is another ordinance that we're talking about today. This is something that was asked by Mr. Fairman, by Sherry, to bring it to the Public Works Committee.
And the ordinance makes it very clear at the top of it, says the establishment of service or the reconnection of service. So they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing according to the ordinance. All right, any other questions or comments?
I just think, Mr. Fairman, could you repeat those figures you started out with?
Which figures are you looking for?
Whatever figures he started talking about. In his report, he started talking about figures. I just need him to repeat them.
The figures I have are, I said we had 431 vacant homes. Of those homes, the 386 are vacant, meaning that nobody living in there. Vacant occupied means that we're trying to get those people out. That's 37. And Sherry talked about earlier, and demo list, the demolition list number is 8. For this.
Thank you.
Oh,
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move to reports of trustees and board committees. We got beautification committee. Beautification committee meeting has been moved from the 18th to the 11th. The meeting time will be 11 a.m. here at the Village Hall. 11th, that'd be tomorrow, right? All right, Sauk Village Community Clean Sweep will take place on May 21st from 9:30 to 11 behind the Village Hall. The committee will be targeting our public buildings and village access roads for our anti-litter cleanup. If you know anyone needing community service hours, please let the committee know that they can join on that day. And let's see here, the committee will also be hosting the Community Flea Market and Craft Show. That will be on June 4th, 2016, from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Applications for this event will be on the table in the hallway. Funds raised by this event will provide ongoing support for our community. And that is a report that's from Chair Lemton. Thank you very much. All right, move to Parks and Recs Committee, Trustee Jones.
There's a second date for the youth summer camp. That will be, the registration is May 21st from noon to 2 p.m. There's a $50 registration fee, and that includes a t-shirt and water bottle. And there will be a separate registration for flag football. And that's going to be June 18th from 12 to 2. And also we have, on the back table, I have some flyers for American Cancer Society Relay for Life. Relay for Life, Chicago Heights, Friday, May 13th, 2016, from 5 p.m. to midnight at Bloom Trail High School. They will have the cancer walk, and there's going to be dinner, 5:30, opening ceremonies at 7. There's going to be the dance, Miss Tina, dance team will be there. It's going to be a whole bunch of activities. So please try to attend. That's Friday, May 13th at Bloom Trail High School. And also I have Chili Give Back to the Give Back program. Bring this voucher on the back table. When you visit, dine in, or to go, Chili's location will identify the voucher, and 15% off of 15% will be donated of your pre-tax bill. And all benefits will go to Relay for Life Chicago Heights. And that's from 4/1/2016 through 7/30/2016. The Dyer location is also included, some of the closer locations, Dyer, Calumet City, Homewood. So pick up your vouchers on the back table, and that'll help out Relay for Life. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Lewis. Public Works, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to report, last month we were handed the, I guess, reconnection of service ordinance and some recommendations. And some of the recommendations that was handed to us was for reconnection during business hours was 200, and reconnection after business hours was 250. Our committee took it, looked at it, wrote a proposal back, and me and my co-chair looked at it again and kind of tweaked it to make sure that everything that is charged, the village doesn't make a profit. This is exactly what it costs us to reconnect after hours or during hours. So it's going to be voted on today, I'm hoping, because it's here on the new business. And there's no money for the village to make. There's not going to be any money to be, extra money to be made. It is what it costs to have those services done during hours and after hours. So I just wanted to make that clear. As I stated, it was given to the committee to do that. And I'm sure there's no questions on it, so I'm just sure that it'll be presented. The next committee meeting for Public Works will be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thank you, that's it.
Thank you, Trustee Root. Housing and Intergovernmental Committee, Trustee Tates.
Both committees will meet on Thursday, the 12th of May at this location. The Housing Committee starts at 6:30 p.m. The IGRC starts at 7 p.m. As I stated before, we're still working on the housing portion of that. We were kind of thrown off track because that Sparks GLC Corporation came in, and the committee didn't have time to prepare for that. We had someone scheduled to come in to do a second workshop on housing when they heard that the village was possibly working with another group to bring in the $190,000 homes. They kind of backed away from us. We're still trying to rebuild that relationship because what they did the first time out for the workshop was a lot less than $190,000, which was the top price that Sparks GLC quoted. So we're just going to work with that and see if we can bring that back along. IGRC, and I need the mayor's approval tonight for police, fire, and ESDA to be present on tomorrow at 3 p.m. over at school district, at the district administration building at 3 p.m. As I had stated, there's a partnership been formed with all the taxing bodies in Sauk Village, and we've had one meeting, and so, but we didn't have representation from those departments. So if the mayor would grant that approval for them to be represented at the next meeting, that would be helpful. And all three bodies are for once, I guess, are working collaboratively to do something positive in Sauk Village. Because it's three taxing bodies, everybody's going their own separate direction. So this is a chance for all three to work together, bring their ideas and pool them together and see if we can work to build something positive in Sauk Village through those efforts. Again, that's for tomorrow at 3 p.m. And Mayor, I'd like to know if you're going to permit representatives from those three areas to be there.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I would double check with the department heads, make sure they're available, and the department heads take care of their own schedules. So I would recommend that you attend if you're available.
I already got an email from her.
Good.
I forget what the lady's name was, and I was planning on being.
Good. So maybe follow up with the department heads before they leave tonight. And
very good. Again, if you can attend either of the committee meetings on Thursday, it would be appreciated for you to be there. That's all I have.
all right, thank you. Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A few things. First of all, we had our meeting yesterday. It was a very good meeting. They had a lot of questions that they wanted answered and a lot of questions that they asked, and they gave their updates on what's going on in Sauk Village, and we had a very interesting Neighborhood Watch meeting. Just want to read two real quick correspondence that will be going out from Neighborhood Watch. Briefly, one is in regard to our annual book bag drive that we have. Let me take one and pass it down. The Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch program has sponsored 2 events with back-to-school book bags. This will be our 3rd year. We are excited to inform you again the Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch program have committed to distribute 500 new back-to-school book bags with school supplies on August 18, 2016 at Rick Over Junior High School at 5:30 p.m. in the gym. Donations can be dropped off at the Village Hall during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 5 o'clock p.m. Your proper attention and your support in assisting the families of Sauk Village students is very valuable to our goal being met. This is a big project and we are starting early. Any generosities you provide will help families in need and promote self-esteem for our students for the upcoming school year. That letter is going out just so in case anyone in the village asks the trustees about it, you can know about it and can know what we're doing. Also, this is another correspondence that we're putting out into the community from Neighborhood Watch Program Chair Linda Washington House, Co-Chair Trustee Ed Myers. Second, Safety Prevention for Businesses in Sauk Village Forum. To all businesses, churches, and schools in Sauk Village, Illinois, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you to our quarterly Safety Prevention Forum for your business, church, and schools in Sauk Village, Illinois. Last year, we had an overwhelming response. This year will be even better with questions answered regarding your business safety. This event will be held on Friday, July 1st, 2016 at 11 o'clock a.m. sharp at the Village Hall. If you cannot attend this very important meeting, please send a representative to bring back updated information for your business. It is our desire to help you in any way we can to make your establishment in Sauk Village, Illinois, all you expect. We are looking forward to your input. Light refreshments will be served. Know that you are not alone, but we are neighbors. Remember, we can restore and turn this village around for a better Sauk Village. My motto is working together means winning together. Spread the word and save this date. Please be prompt. We will see you there. So if anyone in the village talks to you about the businesses or the churches or the schools coming together to have our second safety prevention forum, we had one last time and it was fantastic and dynamite. We received a lot of reviews. The mayor was there, the chief was there, our village administrator J.W. Fairman was there, and the business owners came up and they were very glad to have had that forum. So we're going to do it again July 1st. It's going to be the day before the parade. So I tried to work with everybody's schedule. And then if anybody talks about bringing supplies, they can drop them off. There will be supplies coming in beginning on next week, and they can bring them to the Village Hall as well. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee. Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee did meet last week, and among the topics that we discussed was National Night Out. I know that I've announced it before, but just for everybody to be aware, National Night Out this year will be August 2nd. And that is a Tuesday, so it is my assumption that we will not have a board meeting that day, because that's typical. We don't have a board meeting on National Night Out. But I know that that was a question that was brought up during the meeting, and it was a question that was brought up at a previous committee meeting. And just to let everybody know, there are 5 Tuesdays in that month, so if we have to have a meeting, we could make it up in that month. We are looking for vendors. We're looking for anybody who would like to participate in National Night Out. And for those of you who are not fully aware of kind of how National Night has been set up in the past, it does take place out back in the park, and different committees from time to time have set up tables and booths to get the word out about their committee, to find volunteers, to find programming and things like that. So we are welcome, everybody's welcome to do that. If you could just let myself or the village clerk know that you would like to do that, we can make sure that we have space available for you. Also, we are reaching out to outside vendors. We are reaching out to outside people from the village who, anything that's related to safety, community, because that's what National Night Out is about. It's about getting out, meeting your neighbors, knowing your neighbors, and feeling like a community and feeling safe in your community. So that's what we're working on. And also, we will start our fundraising. The Community Outreach Partnership decided to kick off our fundraising for the 60th anniversary at National Night Out. So we will be selling, so far it's walking tacos, that's what we've decided. We did that a couple years ago. It sold really well. People were very happy about it. So we will be selling those at National Night Out to start the fundraising for the 60th anniversary. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. With the reports of departments, committees, and commissions, Fire Department 911 Commission, Chief Stoffrigan.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, the Fire Department responded to 19 calls. 5 vehicle accidents, 8 fire alarms, 2 medical assists, 1 smell of gas assist other agencies twice, and 1 odor investigation. Mayor and Board, please be advised that all the businesses have been inspected for their yearly license and passed for Fire Prevention Bureau. In the future, we will be inspecting apartment complexes, starting with the Crossroads and Jeffrey Apartments. Fire Department will also be assisting the Police Department with Cop on the Top May the 20th of 2016. It's our pleasure to work alongside our brothers and sisters in blue. Just a small payback for everything they do. Updates on the fire truck should start in August. We'll keep the board informed of the updates in progress, and that's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Police Department, Chief Kowalski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees. Police had 11 arrests for last time period. 5 were felonies, 6 were misdemeanors. We had 528 calls for service. Cases of note, on April 28th, our officers, along with the South Suburban Emergency Response Team, executed a warrant on the 200 block of Park Lane in P.L.A.N. Village. Search was successful and drugs were recovered. The offender was a known felon and arrested without incident. The second subject in the house was also charged with drug charges. On April 27th, officers responded to a domestic disturbance on the 1700 block at 224th Street involving an offender and another family member. Upon arrival of the police, the offender had left. Officers obtained that individual's name and ran that person through leads. They learned that that person was a registered violent offender and currently was non-compliant. On April 28th, our detectives, while conducting further investigation in this, were able to arrest the individual and secure felony charges for that individual. On April 29th, an offender was, actually this started on April 4th, an offender was arguing with his girlfriend. While leaving the area, he drove over her feet. The investigators secured a warrant for that individual's arrest, and that person was arrested on April 29th for reckless conduct involving that domestic disturbance. On May 2nd, officers responded to an abuse of minors. They came to the police station. The complainant reported that her sister's husband had been abusing the children, and her sister was not taking steps to stop it. The detectives investigated this matter, and it's actually quite sad. And they found the offender and the mother of the children to have been abusing the children. The investigators secured several charges of aggravated battery on the father, and the mother was charged with endangering the life of a child. On May 10th, officers responded to a robbery that just occurred at the McDonald's. An unknown offender took a cash deposit bag and fled the area. This incident is still under investigation due to some suspicious circumstances of nature. Now for some better news. I submitted an application to the Department of Justice Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant, and an audit was conducted on the current life of the officers' vests. It was found that 8 officers were found to have vests older than 5 years, which is the recommended replacement time frame. This is a matching grant, and the application process closes on May 16th, so we are in time. Trustee Tate, at the last board meeting, you made an inquiry about previous grants for bulletproof vests. The police department received a grant in 1999 for $3,170. In 2003, they received a grant for $1,733. In 2004, they received a grant for $6,688. 2010, they received a grant for $3,500. And in 2013, they received a grant for $5,713. If you have any more questions about that, please let me know. But I got all of that online because I could not find a file on those previous grants. Period for applying for another COPS grant The community-oriented policing grant has opened for hiring new officers. So I began the application process for putting in for more officers. That does not mean we're going to get the grants for these officers, but I felt that we might as well try. On April 30th, we had our second DEA prescription drug drop-off, which was quite successful. Although we had a short time period, we still collected over 40 pounds of unwanted drugs. The program was a success, and we will participate in the future with such prescription drug drop-offs. Ordinance updates. The ordinance creating a separate finance account for collecting toll funds has been completed and will be sent to the Ordinance Review Committee. The ordinance on hiring part-time police officers has been finalized and ready to be sent to the Review Committee within the next couple of weeks. The ordinance on towing vehicles on property of vacant homes is still in the process of being drafted. And lastly, I'm proud to read this. I received an email from the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Chicago Strike Task Force, which is also part of the High Intensity Drug Task Force, which read, "Chief, I hope all is well. I wanted to give you a quick heads up to acknowledge the outstanding contributions of Officer Brad Aguayo during a recent investigation. Officer Aguayo is one of the lead case officers on an active OCDF, which is Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force investigation, targeting a poly-drug trafficking organization that is operating in Illinois and Indiana. Officer Aguayo played a critical role during a recent enforcement operation, resulting in the seizure of over 4 kilograms of cocaine and a 9mm handgun. To date, based on the work of Officer Aguayo and members of Strike Force Group 3 during this multi-jurisdictional investigation, agents and officers have seized over 1/4 kilogram of heroin, over 6 kilograms of cocaine, and approximately 20 firearms, 7 arrests, and over $25,000 in United States currency. Officer Aguayo is an invaluable member of Strike Force Group 3 and always represents the Sauk Village Police Department in a professional manner. Hope to see you soon. Don, that's the end of my report. Thank you. Oh, wait, 2 things. First, I want to, the complaints, Trustee Burgess, we have to find out the owners before we can actually arrest those individuals that are squatting. So we're working on finding those owners so that we could get them to sign complaints when these people are squatting. And Ms. Cass, as I reported in the past, and I will provide you a copy of my past report, I did say that the computers are in the cars, but they were not, and I repeat, were not 100% functional. So I never said that they were 100% functional. I just want to make that correction. That's the end of my report.
All right, thank you very much, Chief. Move to Public Works Department, Director Weller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Several items. Due to some of the weather conditions, we're definitely behind on some of the remaining spring projects here. Streetlight projects, we're working currently on some of the faults. I did report about 3 weeks ago about 2 locations, 21445 Peterson and 1601 215. Those are 2 underground faults that we will start on. We did start on one at 223rd Street and Peach Street. It's an underground fault, damaged multiple places, so we have to do an overhead hang wire, and we'll have ComEd hook that up in the next week or so. Also, we do get diverted by emergencies. Public Works, our day-to-day operations and all emergencies. We still have to make vendor calls. We still have to deal with residents, prep for all special events in the village, and deal with all departments for emergency or non-emergency reasons. 2 emergencies in the last 2 weeks. We had 2 water main breaks, so that diverted us from our day-to-day operations to do those breaks. Building, we had staff in the building finishing up some of the items I reported 3 weeks ago. We have some toilet paper holders in the community center that are going to be helpful for saving money. Village Hall, a few lights over here, and we're starting on our spring air conditioning, heating system, filter and clean change. So we'll be doing all the buildings in the village here and changing out filters. Potholes in Sauk Village, definitely we're still working on it. We placed about 5 tons on the pothole patching on the south side of town. As of May 1st, we have hot patch available now, so a lot of the potholes will be more permanently patched, or the spaces will be cut out and permanently patched. So we will have access to that, and we are ongoing. Water, we do have our day-to-day operations. We have a customer service person who does day-to-day calls, any emergency calls and complaints. We also have staff doing our normal day-to-day testing and our monthly testing. We also did place 2 extra staff members on our shut-off list for the north side. It took them approximately 4 full days to shut off the current north side shut-off list, and it's been ongoing for the last week or so for the turning back on of those accounts as they're being paid. Staff is still working on digs and jets. Most of the repairs or the digs or jets we're currently doing now are people coming into homes that are trying to rehab them or to upgrade them. So we're doing a lot more repairs than some of the ones we're needing to do for the outstanding bills. Garbage day cleanup. If you ever see anybody dumping garbage anywhere, please call the police immediately. Get a phone number or an address, a plate number if it's a vehicle. Trash tires, anything on the roadway. Excuse me here. Let's see here. Lost my train of thought here. Garbage, okay. All trash that we currently do, as we have 40 locations in Sauk Village that the Public Works Department maintains, from public buildings to open spaces and public grounds. Currently, as we do that, we will pick up the debris at these locations, and it will be kept up. Some of the areas that we have problems with are some of the bigger store locations where some of the dumpsters seem to lose a lot of their garbage to the sides of the fields. So any help with that would be great. Hydrants and valves. As of the last 3 weeks, we reported we have a couple hydrants we're getting ready to set up. We had to do a main valve repair. We did repair that main valve at Yates and 223rd Street, so that will assist us on the 3 hydrants that we're currently going to be working on, which should be 22420, 22225, and 2005 223rd Street. The other 2 addresses are on Merrill. We also did repair a operation nut on a hydrant at 2037 223rd Street, and that one is back in service. That's located out in front of Strasburg School. We also started our hydrant flushing. We normally would have started our first flush last month on the south side. We had a pipe leak on our well house 3. We did not want to overburden the well house if we had any fires or any emergencies, so we did not flush the south side. This month we did start our second flush, which is on the north side of town. All went well. We had no new problems. The south side, we normally would flush 3 times, so we will pick up the last flush on the last flush of the year, which will be the second flush of the south side. Vehicles and equipment. Public Works staff is doing the best to keep all the vehicles in the department running. We're also trying to help each department repair, keep them moving forward. We started working on the police department's vehicles to put back into service, an 07 Charger, 07 Taurus, and an 01 Grand Marquis. We changed the oil on the K9 vehicle. We took 118 to the shop for some brake issues, which has been brought back, so that was okay. We also have a dump truck, a 1990 dump truck that we currently have in the shop with a steering issue that is currently being worked on. We have a 2002 backhoe that we have a part on our rear digging apparatus that we're waiting for to come in. We did do our chipper maintenance for our first of the year, our chipping for the first of the season, our first time for the year. And we did break down all of our winter gear, plows and salt hoppers, and put them away. And we had a small problem with a couple of our mowers, our older mowers. We have a 2002 mower. We had to replace a couple coils on it and some safety switches. And the last maintenance was on our street sweeper. We had a couple switches that went bad, replaced them, nothing major, and a couple batteries replaced on an 05 one time. Sanitary sewer complaints, residents who had a sewer call or a sewer complaint in their house, if they want to call the village first, after hours, you can call the police department after hours. They will call out a foreman. We will check out the mains to make sure that you don't have a backed up main. We had 2 calls in the last month and a half. One was a complaint internally for the homeowner, and one was a backed up main. We did jet it. Everything is okay at that location. Weather events. Spring is here. In this beginning of this season here, we've had a very wet season. Just a recommendation for homeowners, check your gutters, your downspouts, check the dirt at your footing of your house. Make sure all that stuff is facing away from the house. Make sure the slope of the dirt is sloping away from the house. All sump pumps, pipes, make sure they're at least a good 10 feet away from your house. That will stop any flooding in your basement and will hopefully help you out. Branch pickup, first pickup of the season started 5/2. All branches had to be out by 5/8. The staff is currently halfway through the town, and no more can be put out once they've been by. Parks and staff started working on several parks. Upcoming repairs will consist of wood chips, removal of old damaged equipment, fence work, and weed control, and that also includes all the debris and garbage pickup that we see at that time. Landscaping work. Final landscaping work. We're starting on some of the stuff last year we were trying to get done and we did not. They also, the welcome sign at the entrance of Sauk Village, they did the road work there. They put a brick wall up. We completed the top of the wall. We didn't feel it was done. We made some adjustments to the rest of the landscaping. Beautification will make some final recommendations to whatever they wish to do, and we will complete that. We're currently working on Lincoln Meadows entrance, which is another, it's a long section of the entranceway there. It was grass and weeds. Removing all the weeds and the wood chips and grassing it in, making it easier for Public Works to maintain, and also if residents wish to put planters out there, it'll be definitely easier for them to maintain the planters. And the last two items I have, which weren't on my report, I got an email in today. ComEd is going to be doing its vegetation control in June and July in Sauk Village, so they'll be coming through backyards, front yards, taking off tree limbs, anything around the power lines. This just guaranteed service in a storm event. Also, CNN has sent me an email, and they're looking at doing some track repairs on the Cottage Grove tracks, and they're scheduling originally on July 4th. So that date is possibly open, but they already set a date. Generally, it's July 4th. If anything changes, I will let you know. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee?
Thank you for covering the hydrant flushing. Because I've received several calls about that. When do you set a date for starting the south side, which you didn't get a chance to get to?
The date, all dates are scheduled already, pre-scheduled. We do have a schedule we post every year. We do it twice a year every section, and usually the south side is the complaint side, cast iron mains over there, so we'll do that a third time, so it'll be at the end of the season, but we'll do a second one. We have two more months, so we're looking at June, July. July will be the second for the south side.
Okay, now, and the north side was started this month, correct?
Started and completed.
Okay, it's complete?
Yeah, it only takes roughly, it takes about 12 hours total. So we started in the evening to not disrupt the residents, and we complete the next day.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee?
Kevin, I just have a question. Is it possible, or what is your feedback as far as putting, because like you stated that you're going to be doing it that night, is there something that we can put, or have you ever thought about putting a sign out there stating that we're going to be flushing because you don't want anybody to wash or anything? We can suddenly see other communities do that and alert the people, because we cannot do it all the time on our bulletin board. To just put something in the neighborhood that says, okay, flushing in effect as of right now, that we can set a placard or something by those streets when we do that?
We could, but we'd have to make one for every entering street into that side, and most of the time.
Oh, you flush them, you don't do it one street at a time, you do?
Well, we do, but it'd be the whole north side, so Sauk Trail, the whole north side, so every entering street would have to have a sign on it. What we did post on the marquee, and we do post every year our full schedule, so anybody who wants to know when we'll be doing that, unless there's a change, it's posted at the beginning of the year, it's posted on Sauk Talk, it's on the webpage.
Okay, because I'm just looking at, some people told me, they didn't tell me today, they told me this week, they didn't tell me they were going to do it today, so.
It's the same every year, same schedule. It's the first Tuesday of the month, so it falls in the same schedule for 3 years.
Okay, just an observation, that's all.
Yeah, we'll post it on any posting we can, but putting signs up, I know Creed does it, they put them in a few locations, but not every street either, so we do get some complaints still.
All right. All right, move to Administrative Services Director Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the night court call for May 5th, we had 138 J tickets on the court docket. 131 were found guilty, and the fines were doubled for failure to appear. 7 were found guilty. 28 liens were filed in the first phase of the past due water accounts or water bills that were left on the properties, equaling $61,242.39. 4 of the liens from the first round have been paid, equaling $7,806.22. 36 lien letters in Phase 2 went out yesterday and today, equaling $69,038.46. After the 14-day notice expires, the liens will be placed on the properties. Warning letter, I sent a warning letter out to the property owner for the land between Walgreens and the daycare plaza. Every year, there's a lot of debris in there, and I know every year beautification cleans it up. So Gary was able to track down the owner, and I did hear back from them, and they indicated to me that they were going to clean all the property up by May 30th. And department heads, please make sure you fill out your village sticker forms for your fleet this year. Kind of do it early, the better. We're a little slow with the village sticker, so it's better to get them done now. So please fill them out for all your vehicles. And I didn't hear Kevin say something in his report, but we're having a big problem with people cutting grass into the streets. It causes a big problem with the grass blocking up the sewers. That's why the streets flood when it rains. We ask the residents, please do not cut grass in the streets, or we are going to start writing tickets for that. It's become a real big problem. That concludes my report.
Great. Thank you very much. Move to Finance Director, Director Raul.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. There are a couple of items. The auditors are going to be here for the initial startup for the 2015-16 audit. They'll be here for 3 days, from May 23rd to May 25th. Then afterwards, they'll be here for another 2 or 3 months, starting June 1st onwards. The second is, last time I forgot to mention that the CDBG application was turned in on time. That was prepared by Mr. Zarnik of Robinson Engineering. The deadline was April 22nd, 2016. A hard copy as well as an electronic copy was submitted to Cook County. The last one is, per the advice of Mayor Hanks, we are working on the cost savings initiative. Mr. J.W. Fairman as well as myself met with a couple of vendors regarding the cost savings of telecommunication as well as other services vendors. Hopefully we are going to meet with them once again during the month of June so that we will be able to know exactly how much dollar amounts we are going to save. That ends my report.
Good. Thank you very much. Go to Homeland Security, Assistant Director Dana. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board of Trustees. Over the past 2 weeks, ESDA has responded to 19 calls. The ESDA department responded to 4 fire alarms, 6 vehicle accidents, 1 gas leak, 1 assist other agency, 6 school patrols, and 1 odor investigation. In addition, we're trying to tear down and load materials from our old garage on Sauk Trail, and also trying to find a new meeting place for ESDA. So any assistance would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my report.
Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On June the 11th, from 1 to 5, we're having a fun park for the young kids in the back of the building back here. And what it is that we're trying to get the school kids involved in doing things around the village and getting them more involved in helping people around the village and having games and things that we can do. Now, the girl did not make the flyer, but tomorrow or Monday at the latest, the flyers will be here for you to see them. And what I would like to say is the trustees, we're going to give you the same opportunity that we always do, and the mayor also, and the rest of the board, is to try and participate in this, but no politics. We're just going to go out and help the kids, try to give them some guidance to what you think would be best for them to do. They're coming to us with their ideas to how they want to do things and what they would like to see done. So I would appreciate it very much if the trustee, the mayor, would participate, and also the people in the village. Come out and help these kids do it. Show them that there's some positive things can be done in the village. So thank you.
What is that date and time again?
June the 11th, from 1 to 5.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, trustee.
Also, the commission is trying to raise funds. They would like to provide food for the children that will be there. And per Tanya West, the secretary, stated that their goal was $1,500 to raise funds for that and for other activities. All the trustees should have received a letter in their box regarding they're looking for funds. So if anybody would like to donate towards this, it does state that you can donate to the Human Relations Commission. You can drop off anything that you would like at the front desk, and they can make sure that it goes into be reserved for the Human Relations Commission. And I also contacted Prairie State College, and they will be here on that day to provide some educational resources for the kids. And they also have a program that it's a medical career based, but it's for kids. I said kids because I'm so old now. It's from 17 to 25, I believe, is their target goal. And it is for medical careers, your phlebotomy, your CNA, things like that. They will be here to present that. And they said that most of the kids do qualify for free education. So they can go through the CNA courses, they can go through the phlebotomy courses, mostly for free. And then they help them with job seeking as well. So they will be there at that event.
Thank you, trustee. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. We have Housing Commission. Commissioner Holcomb's not here, but he did leave a report with the village clerk. If you would please give that.
Commissioner Holcomb asked me to read this report. Housing Commission is still looking for someone interested in filling a vacancy on the commission. We're looking for someone who can provide the time and effort to assist the commission with the vacant properties within the village. Those persons that wish to apply can drop off a letter of interest to the village hall or email to housing@saukvillage.org. I believe Commissioner Holcomb will also be out for the next few meetings. So just so you know, he won't be here, but it's a personal reason. But I will probably be providing his reports. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We got senior committee report. All seniors aged 50 years young are invited to the senior committee open senior activities on Friday. And it's every Friday from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. And I'd like to thank Steve Shemkus and Frank Williams for coordinating events for that day. During this time, there's no meetings being held, no memberships, there's no dues. It's just open to seniors. So there's also light refreshments and bottled water that's served. So seniors come out and enjoy some activities. The Jones Memorial Committee Golden Agers meeting is tomorrow. That's Wednesday the 11th at 10 a.m. There's a social hour at 10:30 a.m. and then the lunch will be served at 11:30 a.m. Annual dues of $5 for the lunch is needed. And if you have any questions, you can call 708-757-5395 for information about the lunch or any reservations. The Senior Committee is hosting at no charge a luncheon on Saturday, May 21st from 3 to 5. This is for Sauk Village residents, seniors. And proof of residency and a reservation needs to be submitted by the 17th. There's flyers should be maybe on the back table or come out and in the back. If you're interested and you're a Sauk Village resident, you're a senior, there's a lunch right here for you at no charge. We ask that you just please make sure you submit it by the 17th. All right? And Senior Committee's meeting is this Thursday, the 12th. That's at 7 p.m. All right. That is a report for the seniors. Move to new business. 6A, motion to approve all accounts payables and disbursements for April 27, 2016 through May 10, 2016 according to Sauk Village policy. Is there a motion to approve?
So.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, motion is second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee?
Page 1. That's right after the cover page. At the bottom, where it says elected I thought we didn't have any money for our different committees. It's $832, and it's for one particular committee. Where did that, or how that was being paid? How did that come out?
Which committee? What is the dollar amount?
800 total amount. Okay, one is for dinner expense, one is for artist fee, one is for neighborhood watch. I'm just guessing said print. So
Those are the money collected from the neighborhood watch.
This is disbursements.
Yes. We have collected approximately about $800. Out of $800, this money is coming out from those collections.
Could we show that we got $800?
Yes, I can produce it tomorrow. I can email
because this looks like it's just paid out.
Yeah, it is paid out. It is paid out. We collect the money. We will credit back to this account. It will show you an offset.
I'm just saying, we put this in writing.
Sure.
This is in here, so can we see a revenue stating this came from?
Sure, I can email it to you tomorrow.
Right, so that's something that the
the entire board.
Perfect.
To the entire board. So
that's something that the auditors, I'm sure.
I will do.
The next one, it's from the General Fund on page 2. And I'm just guessing, because it's another one for the fire department too, but it says minor electric antennas. What is that?
The minor electricals, that is for the antenna that was purchased by the police department on behalf of fire department. Police as well as public works has been charged proportionately to their antennas.
So what is the antennas at each one of these places, or is it just one antenna?
No, each one of those places.
Yeah. And that's all I have.
Any other questions or comments? Trustee?
And looking at the item, last 5 digits is 72,000, general fund.
70, what page?
Page 2.
Page 2. Last 5 digits, 726,000, general fund.
Okay.
Other grounds and buildings.
Okay.
This shows $325 for asbestos sampling. Where was the location that this was done?
This will be the parking lot, right? Kevin? Jim? The asbestos sampling and stuff, that was done in the community center, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Actually, both buildings.
It was on both buildings? So you did the analysis as well? So they did a sampling and analysis?
Yes.
Okay.
And the results, I didn't see anything to talk about results.
Okay.
Can we get a copy? At the bottom of page 2, I won't mention the name, accident reimbursement. We just completed in getting insurance, and even though it was a minor increase, we're still having a lot of accidents. I received information last week that we have one employee that's had 2 accidents the last part of last year. And I had mentioned the first one that I had heard about. I was told that it was in our minutes, and the village clerk was supposed to provide me with a copy of it. I haven't received that yet to show where it was discussed. So now I'm hearing the same employees had another accident, and I'll discuss it with you, Mr. Darnell, if you want me to. If in fact the information I have is true, that we have an employee that's having multiple accidents, then I think something needs to be done to address that issue, since the village is paying out money for vehicle repairs. And I'm not sure those repairs are for both vehicles, our vehicle and the other vehicle involved in it. So there's some gray areas there, and I'm just hearing parts of the story, and that's why I'm bringing it up, so I can get a complete understanding of exactly what happened and how the village may be liable if in fact there were accidents with the village vehicles. That could be an issue.
Mr. Mayor, I remiss that. And one more thing, it's back on page 1 again. It's vendor number 2513 for underwriter safety. And I don't know what CLA stands for, but it's $17,000.
That is the cost of reimbursement for the third-party accidents that is managed by TPA, or third-party administrators. They manage the claims on our behalf. It is a third-party vendor. We have to pay for the claims and services what they render for us.
You're stating their claims. I mean, it's just, I'm not understanding.
It is the insurance claims for which they work for. We have contracted them to work on our behalf and submit the all insurance report to the insurance companies.
So we pay them to work for us?
Yeah.
What about the Owens Group? I mean,
Owens Group is just a broker. They don't work for us.
Okay.
They do work for us, but they don't handle the claims. The claims handler is a different vendor category.
Okay, so this must be our contribution as far as what our deductible is.
Right.
Okay. That would have been, okay, that's not our deductible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Page 4. Fire expenses. That's at the top of the page. For Bud's ambulance service, $6,000 was paid. $6,020 was paid.
That is the ambulance service cost, monthly cost.
$6,000 per month?
Yeah.
Okay, and are we current with all payments for Bud?
No, not all. No, we are not current. We are paying, this belongs to February and March services.
Off the top of your head, do you have a general idea of what we owe?
No, I don't have it. I can email it to you tomorrow morning.
If you look further down, emergency telephone system, $24,000, $24,931 and some change.
That is the cost of 2007 C-bond debt service payment that needs to be paid out from telephone 911 service.
Is this an ongoing bill?
Yes.
And in that amount?
Yes.
It's a bond, right?
It's a bond payment.
That's what I thought. Okay.
All right, that's all I have.
Trustee Jones.
On page 2, concerning the asbestos from the general fund, public grounds and buildings. From my understanding, just for clarity, wasn't the test taken in January?
Director Kevin Miller will be able to answer that question.
Was the test taken in January? Because the email stated the test from
What you're getting is the invoice date. So whenever they invoiced us is, when did it's here? It was invoiced on the 22nd, it looks like, of March.
I just wanted to see make sure that was the, that's the one, just one test that occurred.
The email I sent you with the pictures, I think I sent you the pictures one too, the email with the full report, that's all in there with the dates. And it's both locations.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I got a motion and a second on the floor. Go to Trustee Carl.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers. Absent Davis.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item B, an ordinance amending section 78 222, reconnection of service, to Article 4, Chapter 78 of the Village Code. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee.
I'm not trying to say that I don't, but do they have a copy, or is there a copy that we can see to make sure there was no changes from last week to this week? I'm just want to kind of, so can we, is there, I know we got copies last week, but things do change. So I just want to make sure we're passing what is exactly that we talked about last week. Okay, because this is this is what we, I just want to make sure that nothing changed, because it did once before. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Okay.
Just a question. We've been talking about this document for several weeks. The document that you have, that you just reviewed, is that what the Public Works Committee approved?
Yes.
Okay.
Just want to make sure there was no different wording changed or anything like that. You know, if somebody could have added or subtracted, I just want to make sure that's it, and I saw it. I'm sure the other trustees are looking at it too. I'm saying that things can change in translation, so I just want to make sure, because we didn't get a copy today, we should have, but we did get copies last week, and I know what we talked about.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I got a motion and a second on the floor. Village Clerk, please call roll.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers? Davis?
Yes.
Washington? Yes. Williams?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item C, motion to approve regular board meeting minutes for April the 12th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve? And a motion,
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee.
Madam Clerk, I was trying to contact you, but it's my fault because I didn't really call. But when I finally saw these minutes, they look like they're double. In other words, there's pages in here that are redundant. There's no numbers on them, but there's a page here that has something on the front and the exact same thing on the back.
There could be a mistake when I copied it, but I want to make sure.
And then, I'm right, because there's two pages like that, on the front and on the back.
I'll make sure.
So this is because this is the meeting for the April 12th.
Right. It was probably a copy, but thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll make sure that's correct.
Any other questions or comments? Got a motion and a second. Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers, absent. Davis?
No.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item D, motion to approve the committee meeting minutes for April the 19th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers, absent. Davis?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Move to item number 7, miscellaneous comments from the Mayor and Board of Trustees. Start with Trustee Williams. Trustee Tate.
Police Chief. Could you check your schedule to see if you'll be available on the 26th of this month? We talked about the bicycle repair a couple of months ago, and I was contacted by the individual who says that he will be available on that date. So I need to talk, you and I need to talk about if you're available that date so we can go to where they're located, which I'm not sure, and a time that I could tell this individual.
They're by Public Works, and if I'm not available, Kevin can help you out.
Okay.
But I'll try to make myself available. You let me know what time.
Okay. Mr. Weller, how does that sound for your schedule? 26th, Thursday, I think. I'll double check. Now earlier, I heard the question about the computers. again. And I understand that they have been installed in the vehicles, but they're not operational.
They're not 100% operational. Person, that's something that they're working on. K-Verse is working on it. It's a programming issue. I'll tell you, I wish I could program. If I could, I'd fix it myself. This is what I was handed. I'm trying to make it work.
Okay. Is it possible to get a copy of, and I'm not sure, Mayor, you can direct us in the right direction, of the invoices for these computers and also for the software? I think we paid something like $200,000 for both computers and software, some combination. Could you instruct whomever to provide a copy of those invoices for those two items?
No problem. More. We should write to all the board. All right, thank you very much.
And Mr. Mohan, I guess you're going to find the survey, the asbestos survey. You're going to provide that document also?
Well, Kevin, you have that, right? The asbestos? If you could forward it to the village clerk, she can send it out to the board so the board can have a copy of that.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Trustee Jones.
There's a lot of upcoming events. If you would like to volunteer on a daily basis or not just your whole time, one day at a time, please give me, contact me and help out with some of the up and coming events that's coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to recognize Ms. Tammy Jones, and I want to thank her for coming on board with the Junior Neighborhood Watch, our summer program for the months of June, July, and August. We'll be having our Junior Neighborhood Watch program. I want to thank her on the school board for stepping up and helping us with that program that we're going to be hosting. And also, I wanted to remind everyone that the school district have a very big back-to-school bash where they invite all of the students that's back to school to come, and they have food and they have jumpy houses and just all kind of activities for them. And it's a very, very big turnout that's really sponsored by Mr. Jeremiah Johnson, and all the school board members are there and they're cooking and serving the community. So what we're going to do this year with the back-to-school book bag, we're going to collaborate our back-to-school safety rally with our superintendents, Dr. Navarre from Trail, along with Dr. Donna Leak from District 168, and we're going to be in the gym part. So that's the part that I left off when I gave my announcements earlier. We will be giving out 500 book bags in the gym, collaborating with their back-to-school book bash. So the parents will have to come out to two different events back to school. They could come to that one event with District 168. We're going to have it all there that same day. So that's going to be awesome. If you could spread that word through the community for those of you that's involved on your blocks, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Please, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a point of notification. I think it was 2 weeks ago, there was a groundbreaking ceremony at WinPAC. I just wanted to find out how many trustees were notified of that groundbreaking ceremony that was held there. Any trustee? Okay. Mr. Mayor, what was the reason why your board was not there, but you had employees there for the groundbreaking? I mean, you've been a trustee, you've been your mayor, and every groundbreaking that's happened in this village, the elected officials was present except for this one. So what was the reason that you didn't at least notify? Because I'm sure they didn't wake up that morning and say we're going to break ground. So what was the reason that you weren't able to notify your board, but you were able to notify the employees that were working in the office?
Good question. If you didn't receive the invitation, I received the invitation from WinPAC, and WinPAC sent out the invitations to everyone who was involved in making sure that everything happened over there, especially with when we worked out with ComEd and all those things like that. So I came in here that morning and asked a couple of the department heads to go with me.
What was the reason you didn't notify your board? At least make sure, you said it was sent out, that you didn't notify the board and say, hey, I got an invitation. In case you guys didn't get one, this is what's happening tomorrow, whatever day it may be. Because it didn't look too great that it's a village business. It's an industrial park, and you would think that you would have your board there to represent the residents. As I stated before, you have been to numerous groundbreakings, and you have, especially when WinPAC came the first time, we were under tent, and all the trustees that could make it, made it. And also the clerks. So I'm just wondering, what made you not alert when you saw there was nobody there? You could have made a phone call and said, hey guys, are you coming, or are you not gonna make it, or anything? No, I'm asking a question, why couldn't you do that? I'm just, because that really, Mayor, that didn't, I mean, this is Sauk Village, and they're opening up a business in Sauk Village. Wouldn't you think you would want to have your board there? I mean, that to me, that doesn't look too great to inform your board to say, hey guys, this is what's happening, but to not notify anyone, but you notified the employees that were there that day and that happened to have a suit on and come out or whatever. So, I mean, I just wondered why, but you're saying, I'm not hearing what you're saying, but that, to me, I don't know about any other trustee, but to me, that's really, really bad, because this is your board. You're not a village by yourself. This is your board, and I would think that you would at least want your members to at least recognize the people that are going to be doing business with the village and say, hey guys, thanks for coming out, or whatever. And then they had didn't they have a luncheon afterwards? Mr. Mayor, did they have a luncheon afterwards? Okay. All right. That's all I have. Also tomorrow, as I stated before, we will have a Public Works committee meeting here at 7 o'clock. That's all I have.
All right. There's a lot going on during the month of May. Just to name it, some of them, this last Sunday was Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Hopefully you had a great day. A lot of things were mentioned already today, but just kind of give you a heads up. Let's see here. The 17th, there's the budget hearing. It's at 7 o'clock here at the Village Hall. I believe it's May 19th. I think there's school board members in the back. I think it's Rick Over Junior High's graduation. So that's on the 19th. 20th was already mentioned, cop on the top. 21st is community clean sweep. Also the 21st is also the Sauk Village Seniors luncheon, free. We know the end of the month is May 30th, Memorial Day, so make sure you, I'm sure everyone's already started making plans for Memorial Day. There's a lot going on, so the trustees already mentioned, I just kind of jotted some of these things down. So May is a very busy month. May is a time, especially when you get around graduations, you see a lot of visitors coming in. There's a lot of times grandparents and aunts and uncles coming in for graduations. If you get time, you don't have to wait till the 21st to start cleaning up around your community. If you had, again, during this time, we're doing the Senior Appreciation Month. If you have any seniors on your block, and you know that they need some help cleaning up around their houses and stuff, I would encourage you to get out there and help some of the seniors during this month. So there is a lot of things going on. The trustee did bring up the groundbreaking. There was a groundbreaking on the 28th. I had the opportunity to attend. I was invited by WinPAC. So it kind of gives some of the stuff about this thing about this. The groundbreaking ceremony was held for a 348,000 square foot expansion to the existing 267,000 square foot facility that's occupied by WinPAC. And just think about WinPAC. I don't know how many people have the Keurig coffee machine, the K-Cups. A large percentage of those K-Cups, those little plastic cups, are made right here in Sauk Village. If you ever go get one, turn it over, see if you see a W on the bottom. It means they're made right here in Sauk Village. I don't know if anyone gets the single-serve Pringles that come in the little plastic container. Sauk Village makes 100% of those for Pringles. That's made right here in our community. That's not to mention everything else that is being made in WinPAC. So this expansion is bringing in a potential 100 jobs for not only Sauk Village, but we talked about the south suburbs. Okay, and that's what's important about the south suburbs here. And you know, we get the benefit by having this business here in Sauk Village. Think about this: new expansion will include a 197,000 square foot warehouse, 137,000, almost 138,000 square foot production plant area, They have an amenity area, maintenance storage, a break room, washrooms, mechanical utility rooms, a trucker's room, a shipping office, a plant grinding room. The building exterior will add a second rail spur, 12 storage silos, 2 new 4,000 amp electrical services, 150 parking stalls, 25 new parking stalls, 20 new dock doors, an exterior drive-in door. The other thing that is, they're also doing an expansion to their existing facility, okay? This is going to include a 15,000 square foot of new office space on the second floor in their mezzanine. It's also the renovation to their main lobby area to accommodate new stairs, elevators to the second floor, renovations to the existing area created by the expansion production, enlarged locker rooms and training spaces, renovation of the existing maintenance offices, and storage training. I'm sorry, the maintenance office and the tool storage room. So the additional groundbreaking did happen on April 28th. So we're excited about this. People have really realized some of the stuff that's happened in Sauk Village lately with the additional groundbreaking here with this additional facility. This is going to be, I think, something like over 600,000 square feet underneath one roof in a manufacturing facility in Cook County on the south side. So this is great for our community. You look at some of the other things that's happened, and we have a restaurant that everyone said would never open again. The restaurant's open. We saw that it used to be Ace Hardware, and it was Sauk Village Hardware. As we saw hardware stores across the whole entire south suburb start closing their doors, Sauk Village Law Stars, but now we have a beauty shop or beauty supply store there. You know, we've got another daycare center opening up. Our post office, which everyone said that would never come back, is up and running again. They're looking at expanding our post office here in Sauk Village. So I mean, there's a lot of things happening here. There's a lot of good growth. We're meeting with people that are interested in Sauk Village, and we're constantly trying to push what we have here. We're continuing trying to push growth. The TIF area number 3, where WinPAC is, I think all those buildings now are just about completely full. So now what we're going to do is start looking at growth. So we're looking at to start bringing in, trying to get a developer in here to start building another building. Again, bringing more to not only just Sauk Village, but to the south suburbs. Dealing with our state representatives, dealing with the Cook County Planning and Development, dealing with the state of Illinois. There's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of work going on inside our staff. That JW is working and meeting with people, so he's been a great help. So when I'm not available, he's make sure he's available. He can get the initial meeting with some of these people. And it allows me to follow up and again share the growth of Sauk Village and where we see Sauk Village going. So we see a lot of positive things going on. We see we're going to be having a budget hearing next Tuesday, I think it is, the 17th. While everyone may not agree with the budget, it's a very good budget. You look at last year's budget compared to this year's budget. I mean, last year, you look at some of these departments where people want to pick up one line item and say, okay, they were over in this line item. Police department last year was right under budget? The police department was under budget if you look at the whole entire budget line item, not just one line item at a time, okay? That was working all the additional overtime and solving cases and bringing people to courts and going after the criminals. And they have some major cases. And going out there and making sure police officers on the street. And we go through every single one of these. We've got some great department heads. They're sitting here. They can show up every 2 weeks. They're here to meet you. They're here to give their reports. I should say they're over here too, because we've got department heads sitting over here. But they're very conscientious about your tax money. They're very conscientious about what needs to be done. Do they move as fast as you want them to? Well, sometimes it's kind of hard based off the manpower they have, right? But this next year, we're looking at hiring additional people in Public Works Department, additional police officers, so putting additional officers on the street, additional people in the front office. You know, you hear about people talking about what's going to happen with our audits and some of the things that we need to do during our audits. The auditors sat here and said, if you want to do some of these suggestions that we provided, it's going to take additional headcounts. We put those additional headcounts into this budget this year. So there's a lot of positive things going on. I tell you, I'm looking forward to this next year. We're looking forward to some of the things that we're working on currently. And we want to make sure that we see some of these fruition, some of these things come to fruition. So we're going to continue to be out there. We're going to continue shaking the bushes. We're going to continue telling people about Sauk Village, how great Sauk Village is. I've lived here all my life. I don't plan on going anywhere. I've raised my family here. I'd like to see my kids come back here and raise their families. I love Sauk Village. And that's one thing that I have, that because I was raised here, because I've got the history of Sauk Village. When I'm talking to these people, I can tell them about how great Sauk Village is. And that's why I love talking to someone new who has never seen Sauk Village, and to be able to tell them about the history and tell them about how we want to grow and what our plans are going forward. So again, this next month, we already talked about, there's a lot going on. If you don't have anything to do, there's something going on in Sauk Village. So with that said, ask for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Got a motion, is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Southland Boys.
Adjourn.